last time we ran out of time, so Ms. Sherry's going to give us a library update.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, Sherry, we don't have time here.
I wanted to update you on some new technology we're using in the library in order to enhance our services. This is an iPad kiosk that we're using to highlight our digital magazines. We have it set out in a highly trafficked area, and people can come up to it and swipe the screen and read a digital magazine right there while they might be waiting to check out or just passing by. And we have realized that it's an excellent way to promote this because you can have signage and tell people about it and brochures and all that, but actually using it and seeing how it is to use the product on a device like that is a really effective way to publicize that. And it's gotten a lot of great attention, and I'm considering buying a couple more and putting one in a couple of different areas of the library as well. Another thing we're trying that's kind of new is we are experimenting with circulating an e-reader. And how this came about, I won a Nook Simple Touch e-reader as a door prize a while back and donated it to the library and said, all right, let's check it out just like we do a book, see if there's any interest, and just gauge how people react to it. And we put the sign up, and then within a few hours, somebody ran up, checked it out, and was very excited about it. And the lady that checked it out was actually exactly the kind of person that we're targeting with this, because she didn't have an e-reader of her own. She wasn't sure if she would enjoy reading on a device versus a book, but this gives her a chance to really take it home, try it out for 3 weeks, just like as if she was checking out a paper book, and decide if that's something that she likes. She can take it home, load our ebooks on it, and then return it just like she does anything else. So if we continue to get good feedback on this, I can see us having a number of these devices that we would lend out just like we do paper books. And I wanted to mention some grant projects that we have submitted for funding. The Texas State Library offers grants every year in 3 different categories. And this year, the library has applied for grant funding in each of the 3 categories for a total of $23,000. The grants are competitive, and we will find out in August if we've been awarded 1, 2, or 3 of these projects. In the first category, that's business and workforce development, we've asked for funding for a service called Job Now, Live Job Assistance. And what this does is match a person up with a live person on the other end of the computer who will help them with interview skills, how to answer questions effectively, how to really polish their resume, and just really get them ready to get out there and really get a job. In the second category, early literacy, we've asked for funds for introducing iPads and tablets into our preschool story times. And what we would do there is introduce an element of technology literacy along with the reading literacy that we already provide. And then the third category is e-content access and delivery. And the project we requested funding for here would pay for the development of an app for the library that would be just like any other app that you would get from the Apple Store or Google Play. And it would be a one-stop shop on your mobile device for the library catalog, for our ebook products and library information, everything like that. And the intent there is to reach out to people who are increasingly doing a majority of their computer interaction on phones and other mobile devices. And along those same lines, we are also wanting to reach out to people who prefer to receive their information through social media. The library has a brand new Facebook page, so please like it there. And the intent is to focus mostly on marketing and promoting our events and all the services that we offer. And just to touch on a couple of upcoming events, the library will be open during Arbor Days this year and participating in the festival with the rest of the city. And we consider it a great opportunity to showcase everything that the library has to offer and maybe reach some folks that wouldn't come to the library at any other time. We'll be doing things like crafts and demoing our ebook products, story times. We'll have the Mid-Cities Genealogy Society folks out doing some family searches with people. We'll have our knitting group, the Pearls of Wisdom, doing some knitting demonstrations. And the Euless Library Foundation will be doing a modified book sale. They're calling it Books for Troops, and you would still purchase the books just like you always did, but then the foundation will ship these books to service members overseas. And I think it's a really great way for them to do some fundraising and also have a service project at the same time. And then I saved the best for last. Our edible books contest is coming up on April 15th. And we have some of our illustrious judges here in the room. And the edible books contest is something that the library has done for several years. But this year we would like to invite all city staff to participate in our contest. And the way it works is you pick a book title and you make a representation of that book using all edible ingredients. And we have some funny categories and different prizes and things. It's really a lot of fun. And these are just some pictures of some different winners from past years. And you can see like the chicken soup on the left there is pretty fancy. I mean, somebody really went all out with that. Just in case you're thinking, oh my goodness, how could I ever compete with these fantastic examples of creativity, I will direct your attention to the grand prize winner from last year, which is on the right side there. That is simply a stein with a big Frank in it, representing the book Frankenstein. So just to let you know that you don't have to be a culinary whiz to participate. It's all about having fun. And so I look forward to the mass array of creativity that we'll see this year.
Which one is the one with the clock up there?
That's a Clockwork Orange. And then the one below that is Little Women. It's 4 little cookies there. So, yeah, and representing the 4 women. So. Does anybody have any questions?
Sherry, is there going to be a regular book sale this spring?
Not in the spring. There will be one in September.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, me and Sherry and everything she does, but particularly on the Arbor Days, because we have traditionally had our library closed during Arbor Days, and I guess we'll probably bring you an update at our next meeting on what's going to be going on at Arbor Days, but in an effort to kind of make it a little more attractive to the wider segment of our residents, we're going to try to extend it over into the library and everything in between. Carnival rides, big carnival rides outside the library. So I appreciate Sherry being willing to open up the library and make it successful and putting on some programs in there during that time. So I hope it's a great success. Great weather. Any questions for Sherry on this or anything else? Okay. Ms. Harper, can you top that?
I thought it could till then.
We're gonna judge it at the end.
Well, we do have some edible things at Texas Star, but no books that you can eat. There we go. Councilman Martin always likes for me to have a theme, so I tried to think of something, so I came up with 4 seasons at Texas Star. And then someone handed me golf magazines, Tee It Up in Texas, since the Final Four is in Dallas, and 4 Seasons is listed right above me as places you should play, so kind of ties in there somewhere. It's not bad to be with these guys. They're also listed with Cowboys, Tribune, and in 4 Seasons of us. The nice thing I think about this, a lot of times when you get advertisement, if you buy advertisement, you get advertised in their articles. We do not have the marketing dollar in golf magazines, so I was pretty happy to see that. We did have an enjoyable autumn. Our fall golf, we did have a total of 5,322 rounds. Of that, 2,128 were tournament rounds. As you can see, most of that was in October. October tends to be a heavy tournament month, and most of those tournament rounds were in that month. I listed weather days because that did play a big part in both our fall and winter this year. So weather days to us are anything that we have less than 20 rounds of golf that were attributed to the weather. We also list our close days. So as you can see in November, we had 10 weather days, and of those 10 days, 2 of those were we completely closed down. The conference center was also busy. They did 138 events. Of that, we had 29 golf events. What's really funny is, I don't think Megan even knew who Pudge Rodriguez was, who was in that picture. And then we had 76 meetings and 27 other events. We partnered with the library, did the Sarah Hickman concert. We did 6 weddings during that time. The Ravens Grill did their Franciscan wine chef's dinner, and we had 40 people participate in that. We also had 8 special events out in the garden room where they rented that for showers and celebrations. We had a very cold and breezy winter. As you can see, our winter golf was not quite as good as our fall golf. In December was our lowest month. We had 13 weather days, and 8 of those days we were closed. Last December, we had 8 days that we were closed, and actually 3 days we were closed and 8 days of weather. So you can see it was a little bit more this year. Same thing with January. We had 14 this year. We had 11 last year, but we had a complete 6 days of closure. We only had 2 last year. February was the one that really surprised me when I went back and looked. February, we had 2 days of weather last year and 1 day of closure, and this year we had 11 days, and then we had 5 days of complete closure. The one thing that isn't showing is frost delays, and I think we just decided we should probably open up at 10 because we weren't getting out there before that in the winter. We were wearing our winter white Texas Star. We were bright and white for quite too long. In fact, the extreme cold resulted in, like we said, numerous days of being closed. Scott was telling me that, Scott Bowen, our superintendent, who's back there hiding in the corner there, that we had the worst dormancy on our turf that he has ever seen. And then just kind of rounded up our fall and winter rounds. You can see how it affected us. We had a possible 151 days of play from October to February. 49 of those days were weather days, so we lost about 1/3 of our play. We were able to get in some events. We had our Texas Star Cup, which is open to not just members, but to anyone who wanted to participate. And we did our member just recently, and we had 40 members that played in that, and that was a fun event. A little cold that last day on Sunday, but a nice event. The Conference Center hosted 78 events also this winter. Of that, 37 were meetings and 3 were golf events. We did 6 weddings and 32 other events. We also had a visit from the King and Queen. There was a medieval group that came in and did their Queen and King coronation and did some knighting. So it was quite an interesting group of people. We had breakfast with Santa. We had 140 guests for that. This is always a well-attended event we have, and everyone that does has a wonderful time. We did our Christmas decorating, as we had to get ready for 16 Christmas parties. So we also, during that time, we had some ice storms. We lost 4 of our larger events. We were able to book 2 of those in January, but 2 of them we lost. Ravens Grill from October to February did very well. We did 59 parties of 15 to 25. And then we did 24 of the 26 to 40. We do have people that walk in with 15 and 20 people all the time. These are just our reservations that we had secured. So we don't have stats on how many just walk in with those many people, which sometimes can be quite a few. And then Valentine's Day was great for us this year. We set our totals and record-setting totals in both our revenue and the number that we served this year. Speaking of Mr. Bowden, our fall maintenance projects, we trimmed our trees and the brush through the native areas as we always do, getting ready for spring. They rebuilt the water cooler stand on hole 3. They stained all the wood water stands, trash cans on the course, and also around the clubhouse. And they insisted in installing a portion of the fiber optic conduit from around the clubhouse to get to the parks of Texas Star. The main thing you'll probably notice that they did was on number 7 Fairway, around the cart path there. We have the new neighbors at Sanctuary at Texas Star. They were able to put in 30 trees and replace some of the native grasses. This will help kind of mask that area, and also as they grow up, will probably, we hope, keep some of the golf balls on our side so that the golfers don't have to introduce themselves to their neighbors. Looking forward to spring, we have 25 of the larger events right now booked and 23 of the smaller events. Texas Star will also host the State Pub Leagues Championship from May 29th through the 31st, so that should be a fun time. We did do our airification this year. We received our new rollers, and we used that in this aerification, and it was the best post-aerification putting grounds that we had since, I think you said since you've been here, Bowen. So we were very pleased with that. We had a little high school tournament this weekend right after we aerified, and they were all very pleased with the conditions of the course. Ravens Grill has some special events coming up. We have the Easter brunch on April 20th, Mother's Day on May the 11th, and then we have a chef's wine dinner on June the 7th. We are taking reservations for Easter right now if you would like to go ahead and call in. The Conference Center has 23 business events and 17 weddings and 16 other events that are planned right now. We are sure we'll get a few more of those as we go forward. We did 3 bridal shows and 2 expos, and from that we got the majority of the weddings and some more business meetings from those. Getting ready for our golf improvement project, we installed a French drain system on 16 right above the pond and to the right of the tee box. And we removed all 40 green stands, which was quite a project.
Are they usable?
A couple of them are the newer ones, the other ones are pretty much not weatherable. They have been there since we opened, so they're been taking them down, they didn't seem to be worth anything. Summer at Texas Star will be a little busy for us. We do have some summer clinics and events that will be going on during our closure. We have a full swing golf clinic for men and women, and then we have a short game. And then we'll also have demo days. So if you haven't decided what club you need, come out and see if it's a Titleist or a Ping that you really need. We also will have a fun event that we have on Fridays, and it is a 9-hole par 3 challenge on the driving range. Just over a timeline of our improvement project that we had. Wanted to kind of touch base. I know you've probably heard more than you wanted to hear about this, but we will start on June the 9th. We will apply the herbicide to kill the Bermuda that has encroached over the years into the greens. We learned to do, this is a step that we are doing, we've added to it due to doing the practice green beforehand and realizing that was an important step that we needed to do. The greens will remain open. Throughout the week that we have sprayed that, they will become a little darker in color and look like they're dying, which they will remove it, they'll be fine to play on. And then the 15th will be our last day of being open and last day that you can play on big grass. The 16th, we will close the course to play, and the staff will begin all the prep work. You can see we will have to clean the greens and blow them off and get ready for the soil amendments, and then we'll do the soil amending, and then outside contractors will get it staged at the same time. Staff will be replacing the tarps on the greens for fumigation, and then we will be fumigated, and then everything will start to come together. The bunkers will be starting to work on, and all the other little projects that we have at that time. They will either start to stage for that or start to work on that. By June the 30th, sprigging will start. And if you've ever, I don't know, I thought we would plant like you do at your yard, but it's quite different how they do it. So if you have the opportunity, you might want to come out and see how they actually sprig the course. We hope to have all that done no later than July the 11th. And then by the 28th of July, will be 2 weeks of growing, and we will start to mow the greens. By the 25th, it will be the 5th week of growth, and the daily mowing and grooming of those greens will begin. And that will give us, by September, we will have 11 to 12 weeks of growing in. It's a little longer than we did with the practice green, but this is 18 greens, and we want to be sure that everything is good. We also hope that a few weeks before that, all the other events, the other projects that are being done will be finished, and then we'll have the sod down and everything will be growing in and look great for our media day and for our big grand opening 1st of October. The success of this will be through our maintenance crew. We think that the longevity we have with these guys will really help us because they know the course. They are the ones who will be doing a lot of the manual labor out there. They have done a great job for us, and we have no fear that they will continue to do so. They'll be the ones that are mowing and the ones who are fertilizing. They'll also be emptying the sand out of the bunkers. So they don't have a fun job, but they will do a great job, and we are very happy to have them. So on April 1st, if it's no fooling, you have 2 months and 15 days to play one of the greatest courses in this area. If you miss out, you'll have to wait 3 months and 15 days to play the best improved course in the area. So that is my report. If anybody has any questions, I can probably answer them. If not, Mr. Golden back there can.
We'll also be doing some cart repairs during this time and some spring restoration work quiets down.
Glenda, are we still planning on getting the new set of carts when we reopen, or is that gonna?
Yes, so the carts will go back on the 15th of June, and we'll turn the carts back into Yamaha, and then we will get our new carts in September and go with a new fleet.
Are we still planning with GPS, or?
At this point, we are still looking at GPM, which would be a nice thing to open up.
And I'll agree with what you said about the roller working the best, because I actually had my lowest 2 rounds of the year with the sandy green, so I want to keep them that way all the time now.
A couple of comments from out there. One, we had some problems with the sound system at the police banquet, and Glenda had another company come out and check and assess that, and what they found exactly what we thought was that we just had a piece of equipment fail that night. It's not a bad system or anything else, just flat had a equipment fail. That was replaced. Did they do anything else? That did something?
They adjusted the mic's sensitivity, other than that, is that was fine.
So hopefully it worked flawlessly since then. Not had any trouble. And then Kyle is working on some lighting improvements, and when will that be?
We're actually looking at to start on that probably in some weeks.
So pretty significant lighting upgrades out there. That's out in that line.
It needs to.
Is there any inside? Is it all outside, or is there any?
Well, we're trying to do the outside at the same time, so landscaping light, so we'll bring extra light.
Okay. Any questions on any of that? Yeah, carpet will be coming in the next little while. Same carpet out there, you know, it needs it badly. So, that'll be fun. All right, then. I don't know how you say it compared to the library.
I think we are pretty.
I think you are too.